You ready to have some fun? Let's do it.
And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU, and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way, so why? I don't want to use it and change it.
He's losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
All right, Ahsoka is a wrap. It's over. It's done. Fans are divided. People are going bonkers for some of the jingling of the keys and little nuggets, and other fans are bored and angry. Dave Filoni, did you save Star Wars or not? Let's talk about this finale, the last couple episodes, that kind of thing, and get right to it. I am Pops. Thanks for being here.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
The episode 8, right out of the gate, we're finally going to get to the point where we're going to have our conflict. Will Thrawn find his way back to the actual Star Wars galaxy? And it's what everybody wants. They want to see Thrawn. They want to see this culmination that has been teased for years, basically. And we're finally going to get it.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So we have a little bit of the flashback on how everything kind of comes together. Basically where you have Ezra and Sabine. They got into their battle with Ahsoka, drove away the forces that Thrawn had sent, and of course Balin and his Padawan Shin. And it's sort of kind of like, well, are they going to stop Thrawn from getting to the actual galaxy? Is he going to try to attack them? What's actually going to transpire? So that's how the show begins. And it starts off relatively kind of slow and unorthodox. And I say slow, and I'm being kind because I actually nodded off. So this was playing. I was watching it 9:30 or so my time last night. And we're 5 minutes in, and this is what we're doing. We're doing this. The witches are inaugurating Morgan the Witch is a witch. And I'm like, what is it going on? And Thrawn just stands there. It's so weird and awkward and strange how this scene is set up. And basically they just create this vapor gas thing, and it makes her a green glowy sword thing. And you're like, okay, sure. 6 minutes in, that's what we have. And they're the witches. So we cut back to what's going on, and they are they're kind of crawling along with their little ship and the little rock troll things as Ezra tries to put a lightsaber around, and we have this like nonsensical conversation.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
See, the thing about the show is even if there are elements where this scene could work, it's not working in episode 8. We needed to set up like this of who these people were like way earlier in the season. Like, I don't care now. Now Ezra, he needs a lightsaber, which again, this was so stupid later. When they first found Ezra, he was, I don't need a lightsaber. I can just use force. And it was just, he was force pushing and whatever. Now he's building a lightsaber like his dad's. And that's what this scene is about. And there's like a hilt that makes it kind of look very similar. And then there's like a little, she ignites it. There's some banter with Sabine, conversation about being a master and all that. And then she just goes outside, which again, this is the typical Disney Star Wars, especially Ahsoka. Every other scene, instead of actually having emotion, using their bodies in a way to convey emotion, they stand with their arms crossed. And half the time they have it with a sourpuss face. I can't stand this. They are wasting my time and your time. So that's what's happening here. Yep, there you go. There's the next scene. And Ahsoka just goes, I have something to think or say, so I'm going to cross my arms. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Rosario Dawson can't act. Why are we doing this? It's so off-putting and irritating, and it's so slow and boring. So this is what has transpired in the 6 minutes that has followed the witches. So witches, and now this. Okay. and it's just a lot of talking with purple hair Sabine and Ahsoka. And then we got to figure out how to get away because there's TIE fighters coming. Okay. So if you remember way back when Thrawn arrived, he was trying to get stuff onto his Star Destroyer. It was going to take 3 days to load everything, and then they were going to leave. And it was about, I don't really care what happens to them. They can just die out there because we can just leave them here. Then there was these random conversations about whether they should attack or not, or send out the troops and whatever. So in this sequence, in the earlier scene, it was like send out 2 random TIE fighters, not 5, not 10, not blast, just nothing. No, it's just, we just send 2. It's these random things that the script does that make no sense because it only works if you think in this little tiny narrow bubble. Okay. So Ahsoka and Ezra go to face them. And the solution is for Sabine to quite literally just drive into them. So she's going. So they've had damage to the ship, and I kid you not, the solution is to have Ezra and Ahsoka and have her hotwire the engines for one big push, including a force push, and drive their ship quite literally into the TIE fighters. So that's what's going to happen in this scene. It's so dumb because TIE fighters are among the most agile of the so we're just going to force push them and then right into the TIE fighters. TIE fighter, if you didn't see the frame is the TIE fighter pilot goes like this instead of just turning. We're not supposed to notice this. Like talk about the landmines to the face. Oh, this show. All right, then we have this the silly, I guess they're called Noti, kind of like a Jawa rock creature things. It's so irritatingly dumb because it just keeps going. Then we cut back to more conversation about what the troopers are going to do and the witch, and they're going to try to find their way. They're riding the little wolfhound things, and basically they're going to basically dodge the Star Destroyer blasting them from above, which can't hit them, and using the force powers to open a door. And then there's the fight with all of the troopers. So some of this scene was fine, and some of this scene was god awful as far as choreography goes. How the lightsabers. There was one shot where I think Ezra uses the force power to pull the trooper, and Ahsoka has her lightsabers up, so he kind of like goes through the things, which is fine. So there were some moments that were fine, but overall, it's just crap. They're just in this area. I mean, there's the witches. So the witches are doing their thing because they are resurrecting. That's right. So they're now zombie troopers. So that's what we have. We have zombie troopers. And what's weird is you feel like they're still playing by the rules they were 5 minutes ago and not like cut their arms off or cut their legs off so they can't keep chasing at you. Like it's a little different than like a Walking Dead episode because you have a lightsaber in your hand. Just cut the limbs off so they can't keep hurting you. And the troopers as zombies don't appear to be interested in using their blasters. They just appear to just try to Night of the Living Dead overwhelm them. It's just completely dumb.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
And then what's weird is they closed both doors, so they're kind of in by themselves. And that's the big solution. Before we have this scene where Thrawn basically tells New Witch Morgan that she now has to go and basically sacrifice herself for the good of the Empire as he's going to continue to go on this mission. By the way, there's been no real plan. The ship should have been ready to go. They should have been like trying to get out of here. They have this fake timeline, fake countdown timer thing, but there's actually no urgency. The writer doesn't want to live by the countdown that they try to create. There's no actual tension. Anytime you think there's tension, there'll be some moment that breaks that tension.
Oh, man.
So that's what's going to transpire now is more fighting with this kind of stuff. And yeah, I kid you not, we're going to get Morgan with her green vapor sword taking on Ahsoka. Now, maybe it's just me, but the absurdity of the fact that this woman would last 5 seconds against Ahsoka is completely insane. If she can survive against Ahsoka, then what was Ahsoka's training? Like, was she really trained under Anakin and so super powerful? And they make a mention to what happened on Mandalore and some of these different things from Ahsoka's past. This should not even have been a fight. The whole point of this should have been Thrawn basically throwing the body into the crowd to kind of create a distraction. But this should never have lasted. Or the witch should have used some of her witchiness, used some witch powers or something. Use something that the Force person wouldn't be expecting, maybe. No, we just have a bad lightsaber fight. And by bad, I mean very, very bad. Very bad. Look at that. Oh, God, it's so bad. This sequence also is very, very irritating. Sabine thing when she uses the Force, not uses the Force, because here's what we get. She's never been able to do it, and then suddenly she's going to start now because the script says so. She even comments earlier about not really being, like, she hasn't really been practicing. Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, there's really been no real practicing. One thing I also noticed, and I'm going to get a copyright issue. I don't really care. Let's figure it out. So this music is terrible. So I know Disney doesn't want to hear this, but part of what made Star Wars work was the John Williams music. And by not using the music or not having little, there was another scene, another episode, last episode, episode before. There are these moments where you need that, that Force music, that John Williams music coming in to give you the chill bumpies. And instead, that's the music they go with. That generic music that set this up, which was this nonsensical scene that she has powers out of nowhere because she hasn't been practicing. We have no emotion whatsoever. This could have just been an action sequence, music for an action sequence in Indiana Jones or something else. Did not matter. Meanwhile, the ladies are still fighting.
No! God, please, no! No!
I guess. She's being overwhelmed, I think, at this point. I don't even know what to say about this scene. This was so dumb, I actually rewound it to make sure that I didn't miss something. So the ship is finally moving. It's like the slowest exit from a planet a Star Destroyer has ever made, by the way. The strategy is Ezra will jump, and then Sabine, who never had Force powers and then couldn't move a cup and now just moved a lightsaber like 10 feet, is going to force push Ezra. I kid you not. That is the strategy. That's what they're going to go for. So a little bit of Star Wars music there. I'm actually a little bit shocked. I actually didn't remember that actually being there. There's a little bit. Now, notice the jump, the absurdity of the jump. They didn't even try to CGI him being high. If you look at the screen, he's so far low of where he would need to be. It's absurd. Like it would have made more sense. Like he wasn't going to be able to do height and distance. Like pick one of the two. He's like 10 feet off the freaking cliff. It's just, okay. So he's not 10 feet. He's a little further than that, but it's ridiculous, right? All right. So she's going to force push because this is the strategy this is the climax of Dave Filoni verse. I don't even want to call this nonsense. This is nuts how bad and stupid this is. He's falling, and here's her. I don't know how that works. He's falling, and she goes like this. And he's like, whoa. I had to rewind it to make sure that I didn't miss something. I was like, what on earth is happening? Oh my gosh, anytime you think something is bad at Disney Star Wars, they are always like, no, hold my beer. Oh, he makes it. Yeah, we don't care. Okay, so they're fighting. This is like round 3 on our show. And then finally, Ahsoka does what needs to be done. Gosh, so badly choreographed. Again, we have to have our sparklers. It's terrible. But finally, it comes to an end. So, okay. I want to be honest. She goes across the belly. I mean, it's across the belly is bad, but it's not all the way through. Like Sabine survived way worse than that, did she not? In episode 1 and 2? I mean, Reva took it through the thorax. Like, oof. So Sabine stayed behind because of Ahsoka and the battle and taking care of the troops. Ezra's there. He finds out that there's more reinforcements coming. And this is what happened. He basically just takes this person and drags them off. Okay? Keep that in the back of your mind. And then they close in on them. And then they basically do a Back to the Future where they jump over the edge. Because Doc Brown knew exactly where to tell them to go. There they are. So they're on the edge of the ship and they start chasing after Thrawn. It's so stupid. How would Huang know exactly where to be at the right time? Thank goodness he's there. It's just it's this contrived nature of just really pathetically weak writing. And then they're in chase, and Thrawn basically just starts talking smack to Ahsoka about things, and they just don't make it in time. And that's pretty much how it ends. He just talks some smack. They don't make it in time, and they have to go back to the village. And by the way, there's like a lot of time left. Okay. Then we get Baylan, because I know everybody's been wondering where Baylan is. I was wondering where Baylan was. I didn't know Baylan had been removed from the show and he was cast in Ring of Power. Like, this is the Lord of the Rings set. So what happened is it's almost like in Blazing Saddles when they have the fight scene and they kind of go off the movie set and they end up going into another movie set. I think Baylan, when he just started walking at the end of that episode, he walked off the Disney set, the Disney lot, and he ended up over there where they were working on Rings of Power and Lord of the Rings. So I don't know if anyone else is confused by this. And if there's an explanation from the Rebels people, you guys let me know. I don't get this. I'm waiting for like waters to come out of the eyes. I'm waiting for, something. So, he just looks out into this giant. Yeah, okay. We come back to Thrawn with nonsense. We'll get back to this in a minute. Right? And then we get to this scene. So a shuttle shows up. And you're like, you kind of know exactly what's going to happen. And this trooper comes out, starts walking out. And then Chopper just... So there... Okay, this makes no sense. So it's him. Okay. I don't know how Ezra got up here. I feel like there was a deleted scene. I actually thought that I think I'm missing things. I don't know if there's a deleted scene because I feel like is there a scene where he got a shuttle and was able to escape, and how would he get away without anyone detecting him getting away? How does he know where they are? How does he know? Why would he keep the suit on? I mean, why would they let the shuttle on a rebel ship? Like, and how does Chopper know it's him? Like, I can read his vital signs. Like, I don't even. See, the problem is I hadn't done a couple videos, so I have more like pent up frustration because I didn't get a chance to vent about the absurdity of the last couple episodes, little pieces here and there, and how they can do like this little sequence is fine, and then they ruin it. And they can do this thing, it's fine, and they ruin it. It's like over the whole show, I could have put together an hour and a half setup movie for another movie. Like, this would have been my setup movie for something else. We just don't need all of this movie. We don't need 8 episodes, is my point. All right. I don't know. If any of you have viable explanations on this sequence, please let me know. I do not get it. I'm just thick that way, I guess. It just makes no sense. Hera has one line, like, Ezra? Well, yeah. If she'd said Aladdin, it would have been a funny line at least. All right, so they're on the planet, and we've done like a flippity flop. Oh, yeah, we missed a scene. I got to figure out where the other scene is. Hold on. We missed a scene because I missed a character. I got to go back. Bear with me. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that was her right there. Yep. Okay, so Balin is at the Lord of the Rings set, and she wanders into like the set of like a Star Wars spinoff based on these guys that she just met, and she just pulls out her lightsaber and ignites it, and I guess that's cool. Oh, hey, it's that young girl. Hey, she's got a red lightsaber. I guess we're gonna go with her now.
Every Jedi has a lightsaber.
I really don't understand any of this relative to any context that matters at all. Why did we bother with this character so much if we're just going to leave her as a nothing character who does not matter? Makes no sense. Okay. Then Sabine and Ahsoka exchange a couple moments with Sabine like feeling something in the Force, but not. And then we have a Anakin Force Ghost very badly CGI'd into this final scene for no reason whatsoever. And then we have nearly 4 minutes of credits. And I don't believe there was any scenes or anything. No, there's not. So the point of the show was that Ezra and Thrawn and the space whales had a conflict. Ezra had to sacrifice himself, and they like zapped Thrawn away to this galaxy. And the show has now taken Sabine, who could read the map, and Ahsoka, who knew there was some sort of mission by Morgan, and then the two, and Balin and Shin. And we flip-flopped everybody so that now Ezra and Thrawn are in the Star Wars galaxy, and everyone else, Ahsoka, Sabine, Balin, and Shin, are all over there. And Hera has been cut out of the loop of everything. She's completely irrelevant to anything. She didn't do anything that remotely helped or hurt the causes. And then, because all of the political drama and intrigue and all the key jangling and the C-3PO and the Leia references and all that, none of it really mattered. That's all we did. We did 8 episodes of flip-floppy. Sabine has how magically now can use the Force. She's not really. She admits that she doesn't really train. Ahsoka still talks with her arms folded. We don't exactly know. I don't even know anything about her enough to know if she's different. Like there's just random lines that she says with her arms folded. She can't fight very well against people she should easily defeat. Balin was extremely interesting at times, and then the dialogue got really bad, and he just walks off the set and goes to Lord of the Rings. Okay. Shin, who I didn't care about, just shows up with the red clad gang. Okay. Thrawn doesn't look like Thrawn. Thrawn is an idiot. Half of his strategies are just stupid on their face. And then we're supposed to just believe he's smart because he's Thrawn. But none of it makes any sense. He's a good actor. He's way better in Sherlock this show. They don't do him any justice by showing how frumpy he is. It's just all of this is just nothing more than Thrawn in name only. It's Disney Thrawn. It's not real Thrawn. I don't care about Ezra. Ezra it's just like this nonsensical character I could care absolutely less about. It's just completely dumb. I've never liked Chopper. I definitely don't like Hera. There's no butt shots in this, by the way. So the only thing the fans were talking about is the fact that Hera's butt shots were in every freaking episode. I can't think of any. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody or anything that remotely should matter? Dave Filoni somehow has a job and he's the savior of Star Wars. I personally don't get it. I watched this so you didn't have to. Lord help you. My gosh, I rambled way too long anyway. You guys have a lot of questions and answers. Feel free to hit that comment. Let's work through it together. Start the therapy session now. Till next time. Take care, everybody. I am Pops. So terrible.
Do whatever you want all the time.
No, see, he's not smart. People think he's smart, but he's not.
I don't know how that works. He's falling, and she goes "Burr," like this, and he's like, "Whoa!" I had to rewind it.